Hey guys, welcome back to the bench. And today I have a really neat kit to assemble. So this is the JYE Tech Oscilloscope kit that I think people have seen around. This one was purchased from Amazon, but you can get it from eBay, Banggood, pretty much everywhere. It comes with this display board, which I'm having trouble opening. Yes, this is the display board, and you pretty much just solder headers on that, I think. Quite a number of parts, and this is the main board with the SMD components pre-soldered. Has pretty good silk screen here, but I think all the component values are in the instructions. It looks like it. And then this is the probe. It should do nicely. Alright, so we're going to attempt to assemble this on camera here. The assembly guide seems to be pretty good. It breaks apart sort of into steps, the different pieces that you're going to need. And you can see here, for instance, the resistors. It tells you what value each resistor is. Same for all the other components. So with that and the schematic, I should be able to put it together pretty easily. So this is all the resistors done. I basically pulled all the resistors out from the bin of components. I put them in a separate bin by themselves, and then I measured each one, consulting the sheet here, right there. I just put it in the first matching hole. So for instance, 100K, put that in R1, and so on. I'll basically continue to do that now with the chokes. Alright, on to those. Alright, the inductors are in, diodes are next. So I ended up putting in the diodes, but also this USB jack, the crystal, and the buttons. Next are the capacitors, or the ceramic capacitors I should say. So putting those in. Well, looks like the camera cut out, but I got the capacitors in. So that's all the ceramics. The next thing on the list are a couple of LEDs and pin headers and transistors. Probably get all those in before. that port back. Alright, so I ended up just going ahead and doing all of it, so it's all assembled now. I'll just get a power supply and plug into the 9 volts there. Alright, so I couldn't find a 9 volt power supply, but I do have this 9 volt socket connected up to a barrel jack, so I'll use that. Plug that in live here. Contact. Alright, so screen turned on. Just remove the screen protector here. Let's see if we get anything else. Well, look at that. I forgot to read through all the instructions, but it looks like there's a couple of testing steps that they have you run through to make sure the voltages are good. So the first thing I did already, you put a small ring from one of the leads and you put that in this spot here, which is the square wave spot. So that's an internal square wave generator. So I've already made that ring, but it looks like there's a jumper here that I'm supposed to short. It's called jumper 3, and it's by U4. So it's this guy right here. So I have to do that. So let's solder up that jumper. Alright, and with that soldered up, I'm going to switch into voltage mode on this. And I'm looking for 3.3 volts at test point 22, that's what it says, sorry. So I'm going to connect this up, and I'm going to test between, oh, I have them backwards. Between ground and test point 22, and that says 3.3 volts. So then it says, if that says 3.3 volts, I should short jumper 4. So this is jumper 3 that I already shorted. And jumper 4 is up here. Oh, there it is. So jumper 4 is right there, and I'm going to solder that shut. With the power disconnected. Alright, so that's soldered shut. See, connect the LCD. Alright, and now, get that focused, this should boot up for me. There we go. Alright, so that's running. Connecting up the probe here. And I'm just gonna connect this between the ground and this sort of test jumper up here. Okay, so I had this on the ground setting, which is just connected to ground, so I guess it lets you easily zero it out. I'm switching that to AC coupled, although DC coupled doesn't trigger. Okay, so you can kind of see this LED here blinking. It's, I guess, maybe hard to see on camera, but that's because it's triggering at the right spot. And I will have to learn how to read this and all the functions, but it seems to be working. So let's see if I turn the sensitivity up. Yeah, very nice. So there it is. I'll probably post a video going over some of the features, but there's quite a few good ones of those online already. I know the one I'm going to go watch in just a minute is from Julian Eilert, so I'll link that in the description. But this will hopefully be really useful on different projects, just to kind of get an idea of what's going on in signals. Yeah, it's not going to be what a professional scope is, but it's a lot better than nothing, and I think it will really help for a couple of different projects that I'd like to do. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. I'll have links to these things, everything that I mentioned in the description. If you like this sort of thing, please like and comment. I'd really like to hear from you guys if you have ideas, or just tell me about projects that you're doing. And if you think that this is something you like, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.